We're on our way to start chemotherapy. Um, right now I'm walking down one of these streets in New Haven. I'm not too familiar with New Haven, you know. If it wasn't for one of the guys at the house telling me about where I was going, I'd have went in a whole nother direction, which would have probably been like an hour and a half walk. And I have stage 4 cancer, and it's in my legs and hips and femurs and pelvis and all that other stuff. So, you know, I've been having to walk to these places, you know. I have my bike, but since now I'm going to start chemotherapy, you guys notice that I have the sniffles all the time, you know. I don't know if that's one of the symptoms or allergies or whatever the case may be, but I have them all the time. But anyways, all right. Anyways, when I walk to these appointments, see, now I'm walking now because I'm about to be admitted. I'm gonna be in the hospital for a while. Doctor's unsure how long I'm gonna be gone, you know. According to the oncologist months ago, the regimen was a week long, 6 periods, 6 times. So I would have went for a week to the hospital. They would have radiated me for a week, and then I would have went back for 2 weeks. I would have went home for 2 weeks, and then back for another week, and then back for 2 weeks, and then back for another week. 6 different times, 6 different reps. But the doctor, she said that they may have to come up with another plan, being that I never started that treatment. That's the part of the story that we haven't talked about, the treatment and the diagnosis and all these other things that are now in my life. Or should I say, whatever's left of it. Anyways, I don't know how that happened, that music going through there. That's the kind of music I listen to. I listen to stuff like Enya, you know, just to sit back and relax. Zoom, zoom, go somewhere. Life sometimes is a complicated issue. So I try to escape it as much as I could. I guess maybe I'm going to perform the ultimate escape. So anyways, for cancer. In 2016, I was housed in Osborne Correctional Facility. This is where I was, in prison, 2016. Now, yesterday's video, I talked about how my son used to say, "You're a superhero," because I'm an athlete. I move around a lot. I do things. In 2016, I started feeling things in my body that just weren't right. You know, I was fatigued all the time. I was getting pains and aches that, you know, just weren't normal. They were crushing. They were heavy duty. And I started writing in the medical over there. Medical. Telling them, you know, listen, I'm not feeling well. I'm tired all the time, nauseous all the time, not eating the way I should be eating. Various things like that, you know. I mean, you recognize stuff, especially someone like me. You know, I'm conscious of my body. You know, I'm vain in some ways of that issue. So I was recognizing these things, you know. And I started getting these lumps in my arms, you know. 1 lump, 2 lump, 3 lump. So I was writing to the doctors there. Now, mind you, when you write to the doctors over there, you go to sick call. Sick call calls you down. They rob you for 3 months. I mentioned that before. They go into your account, you know, without your authorization, which is embezzlement. So that's another law that the Department of Corrections be breaking and nobody's paying attention to. Embezzlement. They go into your stuff. They go into your private account, the account that your family sends you money to. You know what I mean? So they go into this account without your authorization, which is embezzlement. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that, but they do it every day. They do it because they've been getting away with it. The Department of Corrections does whatever they're getting away with for all this time. And they get away with stuff and they put it under safety and security. They say safety and security for everything, you know? Safety and security. We're going to get to that. Safety and security. So anyways, so I started getting these lumps on my body. I wasn't feeling good. I was fatigued all the time, nauseous all the time. I just wasn't feeling right, you know? And the lumps in my body, Dr. Freshton. Now, mind you, I didn't mention this before, but Dr. Freshton was a doctor that was on York. He was in the women's prison in York, Connecticut. And he was let go from that prison because of sexual harassment. This dates back to 2009 to the present. Sexual harassment. Why is he still working in the facility? Why is he still working, period? Why does this man still have his medical stuff? Maybe he doesn't, but the Department of Corrections hires him anyway. They do stuff like that. So anyways, Dr. Freshton was telling me that the lumps were fatty tissue. So I'm looking at this man, I'm thinking to myself, yo, fatty tissue doesn't hurt. And I mentioned that to him. Fatty tissue doesn't hurt. But he completely ignored what I said. These bumps hurt. So anyways, I'm out $3. Now, mind you, $3. To go to the doctors in the jail system, it costs $3. A lot of these nurses say, oh, well, I got to go to the doctor. It cost me a couple $100. Cost me $300 to go to a doctor. All right. So here's the balance. If you're making $700-800 a week, you go into the doctors. Whenever you got to go to the doctors, you don't got no insurance. You pay a couple $100 to get there, right? All right, well, in the prison system, you make $10.50 every other day. I mean, every other week. $10.50 every other week. So mind you, if you go to the doctor there and they take $3 out of your account, all right, that's a large percentage of your pay rate. So you see it? You see the balance in there? Versus you going to the doctor out here, but the nurses talk about, oh, this is only $3. Yeah, but you dumb bitch. If I'm getting paid only $10.50, then $3 is a whole lot of change. I'm out $3 and that I didn't sign for it, so they embezzled to get in there. And I'm still getting these lumps in my body. I'm still feeling fatigued. Mind you, this doctor did nothing for me, nothing. He gave real itches. You know what I mean? But there's one rash on my back, which was really issues. Which in one of the symptoms is called a bullseye rash. And it's constantly issue, constantly there. So anyways, I had that rash constantly there. And my whole body was itching. And more lumps are appearing on my body. All right. So I'm writing to these people, telling them, listen, you guys really need to look into these lumps. This is not normal. Lumps on your body is never normal. Once again. Now, mind you, this is months separation time here. The first time that I went to the doctor to the second time I went to the doctor, maybe 4 or 5 months had already passed. Okay, because that's how it is in there. You can get a common cold in there, and the common cold will be allowed to go through your body in its entirety without nothing for it or anything to that effect. All right, unless you have commissary, which most of the people in there have commissary. Me personally, I didn't have commissary because remember, I don't have a good rapport with my family, and I only make $10.50 a week, every other week, should I say. So commissary to me was very crucial. I didn't have money to be buying Motrins and whatever else they had on the internet. I mean, on the commissary thing, which that's a whole nother part of the story. When we start getting to the heart of the department, I'll give you menus and stuff like that. I'm gonna put them online, the menus. You know what I mean? Like chicken a la king or veal cutlet Okay, it sounds good, don't it? Woo-wee. You want to get into a restaurant? I want to order me chicken a la king or veal cutlet. Enjoy that meal. Trust me when I tell you that veal cutlet or the chicken a la king from the menus of the Department of Corrections sound good, but when you get it, it literally looks and smells like throw up. But you know what? In those situations, I was grateful to have that throw up. Because in many, many places, people don't have even that. So where that's concerned, you know, the reason why I bring that up is because they make it sound real good, but it's not. But for someone like me, I was grateful to have it. So anyways, I go back a second time and I got more lumps on my body, and now I'm experiencing stomach cramps, chest pains. The rash is out of control. My skin is out of control. Now, okay. The pain they took of my back and my pelvis and my femur in the prison system, they saw what was happening back because I didn't know that you could see this kind of stuff in an x-ray. You know what I mean? I didn't know that. I had no idea that they could see that stuff in the x-ray. But they did. The people out here saw what was going on in my finger, and the doctor literally called me on the phone, told me, Peter, you need to go to the hospital right now. Your finger, your bones in your finger are so... See, now the lumps are traveling through my body. They're going all along my lymphatic system. All along my lymphatic system. It's going through my body. Okay? So Dr. Freshton says, see, now the lumps are traveling through my body. They're going all along my lymphatic system. All along my lymphatic system. I said, listen, man, these ain't fatty tissue, man. And he's telling me, oh, yeah, it's fatty tissue. And I'm telling him, but these things hurt, man. I said, why do I got so many of them? He said, oh, well, you just so happy you got somebody who has a lot of them. Now, I'm looking at this man, and I'm telling him about the nausea. I'm telling him about the fatigue. I'm telling him about everything that's actually happening to my body, the pain. And I'm telling him, listen, bro, I'm very aware of my body. Something is wrong. That's what it's called. Deliberate attempt not to diagnose, not to treat. This is what they did. They didn't diagnose it, and they didn't treat it. Okay. So now remember, now another whole few months are going through my body. All right. Now he tells me that the x-rays came back and I have moderate arthritis in my back, moderate arthritis in my hips, and things of that nature. This is what he says to me. Okay. Which, yeah, okay. That's what I looked at it and I said, okay, it could be that. But the bumps, what explains the bumps? He says fatty tissue. Now, I'm not buying that fatty tissue stuff about these bumps, but I'm really not paying attention to what's really going on. I just know something's wrong. Something's really, really, really wrong. So now months and months and months pass, and I'm getting sick. I'm getting sick. I'm feeling sick. I'm not eating. I'm vomiting. I'm throwing up a lot. I can't stomach anything. You know what I mean? When I would eat something, I'd get sick, and that night I would have to get up and go throw up because the acid was so bad in my stomach. It was coming to my throat. It was really, really, really bad. And these things were happening to me. So I was writing medical. I was writing medical. Keisha Johnson, writing her regularly. Oh, you have to utilize the sick call. I told her, hey, listen, man, the sick call is only gonna rob me for $3 and not do nothing and send me back. So I'm gonna be $3 out and I'm only gonna have the same crap that I'm getting right now, which is nothing. So anyways, months and months and months are passing. My stomach, they diagnosed it as constipation. Constipation. I'm using the bathroom, man. What are you talking about, constipation? The chest pains, the acid reflux is what they said. It was acid reflux. Acids in your stomach. So these are things that they gave me. For the stomach, they gave me this stuff to drink so that I can use the bathroom. Now, mind you, I wasn't constipated, so the only thing that thing caused me was more cramps. Horrible cramps, too. So anyways, this kind of stuff went on for months and months and months. Months and months and months. Now we're into 2017. Now, mind you, I started feeling this stuff in 2016. Early 2016. So, 2017, I got one of the fatty tissue, what he called, on my right shoulder. Now, the pain was so severe that I couldn't really move my arm. I mean, every time I moved it, I thought it was a torn rotator cuff. So when I was describing it to one of the officers about the kind of pain, and he said, that's what it sounds like, a torn rotator cuff. That's very painful. And I was like, you ain't kidding me, man. It's painful as hell. So anyways, I'm writing to them because nobody's seeing me now. Nobody's seeing me. You know what I mean? Here I am sick. My stomach is messed up. My chest is messed up. I got lumps all over my body. I'm fatigued all the time, throwing up all the time. I'm just not feeling well. I'm dropping weight. These things are happening to me, and nobody's looking at the situation. Nothing is happening here. Nobody's taking any blood work. Nobody's taking any nothing. They took the x-rays that first time, and a couple of times they took x-rays from me because I would just keep coming at them. And they would say the same thing. Oh, your bones are fine. You're fine. This is what they were saying to me over and over again. So now I see in the prison system, your files rotate. Dr. Freston was no longer my doctor at that moment and that time. And Dr. Wright, good dude. Dr. Wright was my doctor. So Dr. Wright looked at the lump that was on my shoulder that was causing me so much pain. And he said to me, oh yeah, that's fatty tissue. But there was another lump on my body that he said, that's different. Let me take a look at that. So he says, I'm going to biopsy that. Okay. 2 months later, all right, about 3 grievances later, why haven't you biopsied this yet? This bump on my shoulder is still killing me. You haven't done nothing yet. Because he told me when he saw me, he was going to do these things. He was going to look at them because they look, suspicious. The one on my leg, and he said, yeah, it looks suspicious. I'm going to look into this. So now he sends me back. He doesn't do anything. 2 months later, I'm writing everybody and their mother about the pain in my shoulder and about the biopsy that Dr. Wright was supposed to be taking, which he never did. So now finally, 2 months later, he takes the biopsy. This was September 2017. Mind you, this stuff started in 2016, early 2016. I got the paperwork. I can tell you the exact dates, but I don't have them with me. But I do have some paperwork, so I'm going to put that out there real quick. Because remember, I'm on my way right now to go lay down somewhere so that they can cut me open and put some stuff in my body so that they can radiate this body, okay? And the doctor's telling me, hey, you look strong, Pete. You got a strong body and a strong will, so that might carry you through. So anyways, 2 months later, finally, he comes down and he takes a biopsy. Takes the first biopsy, it comes back benign. Nothing's there. Some kind of a accumulation, but nothing happened. But the second biopsy, the one in my shoulder, the one that he wasn't even going to take out because it was fatty tissue. But he said, you know what, let me really move that anyway. You know what I mean? So he goes and he takes it out and he saw that it was a lipoma. Sends it to UConn. October 4th, they're calling me down telling me that I got cancer. Dr. Freston, out of all people, the son of a bitch that was telling me that these lumps with fatty tissue has the fucking balls to come to me and tell me that you might have cancer. I swear to God, when I was in that office that morning, I looked at this man and I told him, you're the one that was telling me this is fatty tissue, bro. I wanted to rag him. I wanted to slam this dude, throw him all over that office and all this other, I just wanted to get evil on him. I wanted to get evil on the man. So I sat back and I'm like, okay. All right. Now, cancer, it's evident, it's there. Large counts, B-cell lymphoma, there. They see it, it's there. Okay. Excuse me, sir. Where's the emergency room here? Thank you. Thank you very much. So anyways, Man calls me out and tells me I had cancer. This is what he tells me. But he tells me, like he tries to like minimize it, you know, like, well, we're not sure. That's what he's looking at me. And I'm looking at this man. And I'm like, damn, man, I want to hurt you. You know? So you can imagine that a situation such as that, me knowing that there was something wrong all those months ago, and then the same scumbag that tells me that everything was fine and that it's fatty tissue and arthritis, his stomach cramps or constipation, chest is acid reflux, never even mentions the fatigue or the nausea, none of that stuff. He doesn't mention none of that. Okay? Is sitting there telling me I got cancer. So you can only imagine the kind of turmoil that caused me in that moment's time. That kind of turmoil is probably a life-lasting thing. So anyways, now the process is rolling because they tell me I got cancer, right? But nothing is happening. Nobody's moving. Nobody's doing nothing, right? A whole month passes by and nobody's doing nothing. Nobody, okay? And I'm sitting there, they tell me I got cancer and nothing is moving. This was October 4th. Late November is when they took me for the first time to UConn, okay? The doctor was telling me that they couldn't get a definitive diagnosis from that lipoma that they took out of my shoulder, the one that was causing me so much pain in my bones, okay? The cells were dying so fast, she couldn't even get a definitive diagnosis. She said, I never seen cancer moving this fast before. So mind you, from October that it was diagnosed to late November, it's like November 20-something. I got the paperwork. I'm going to put it out there so you guys can see it, okay? They knew this stuff is in my body, yet they did nothing about it for that whole month. Longer than a month. Okay, so I get to UConn, now the ball is rolling. Now I got Jessica Clement. She's on me. She's like, Mr. Padilla, you are sick. We need to start a treatment right away for you. We needed to start a treatment a long time ago. We don't know how long this has been in your body, but it is running through you. It is going through your body. It is in there. It is taking over your spleen. It is in there. Your whole spleen's got to come out. This is what she mentioned me. So what she talked about as far as taking another biopsy to try and get a definitive diagnosis, it was one of two places. One, either the spine where there's a lipoma lighting up on the scans as bright as a candle, okay, or to remove my entire spleen. So they went with the one on my back. Came back. Definitive diagnosis. Okay, so now I got cancer. It's definite. It's in there, and it's bad. Double hit, she called it. You're in trouble, Mr. Padilla. You're going to die. This is what she told me. You know? You're in for a battle. So anyways, I'm here now. I'm in the emergency room. You can see it in the back of my neck. Yeah, hospital, right there. It's over my shoulder. See it? Yeah. This is where I'm at right now because I got to go in there to the emergency room because I got an appointment with Smilo on the 24th, but the doctors, Dr. Lisa Puglisi and her staff, which is, I'm so grateful for them because they're so conscious of my situation. These people really, really, really have the best intentions for me. And I hope they pull through with everything that I need. They know what I need. I ain't going to get into that. Okay, so anyway, well, we'll get into that in another segue of this. And that part is the final part of this, which is the beginning title, Coming Home. That's the end of this whole stuff that I'm trying to put out there. Coming home. Okay, so now. See my name on it right there? Peter Padilla, my number and all that other stuff. All right. See that other name right there? That's an attorney that I reached out to inside, one of many, about this entire situation. And this is the one guy who said that he's going to help me. He's going to take my case. So anyways, he says he's going to take my case. So I sent him this paperwork. I'm going to show you something. The reason why I didn't start the treatment prison system was because when I went to go get admitted, because Dr. Clements, she was like, you need to be in here, Peter. You're going to die, man. You're going to die. You know, this stuff is going through you, and we don't know how long it's been in your body. So you need to be here, man. You are going to die. This is what she's telling me. Okay? So anyways, right? So, I go to get admitted, and the bum-ass officer comes into my room. Now, mind you, I'm on the 5th floor in UConn Correctional Facility, UConn Medical Center has a ward that is DOC, okay? This ward consists of 3 security doors, all right? One door, which is all the way like from here to across the street over there, and the officers are where I'm sitting at now, and they got to press a button in order for you to get out that door over there. So that's one door. And then just after that door, down the hallway, that's about 30 feet in length, okay? Just on the side of that door, okay, there's an officer behind the gate who has to buzz you out to get out that door, okay? And then the room that they put you in is also a locked room. You're locked in there. You're not going nowhere, period. You're not going nowhere. Okay. So I'm about to be admitted, and they take me in there. And here comes some flunky CO. Little roly-poly punk-ass dude. All right? He's got chains with him. And I'm looking at this man like, what you doing, bro? Oh, it's policy. Well, I got to chain you down. I'm looking at him, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm about to start chemotherapy, bro. And you're going to chain me down? Oh, yeah, well, it's policy. Looking at this man. Okay, safety and security is what the DOC uses to do whatever they want to do, however they want to do it, whenever they want to do it, wherever they want to do it. That's safety and security. Remember I told you about that ticket and the antenna, and they said it was safety and security, a violation of safety and security. These people are doing this thing all the time, and they're getting away with it on the safety and security. The safety and security policy keeps the state people out, the federal people out, the medical people out. It keeps people out of the system. It keeps them out of the prison system, and the Department of Corrections says it's under safety and security. It has to be a safe environment. These people are lying to you. They're doing safety and security is a policy only to hide the laws that are being broken. They do everything under safety and security. Now, so the guy's got the chains in his hands, and I'm looking at this man, and I'm telling him, I'm about to start chemotherapy, bro, and you thinking you're going to chain me to a bed during it? What I know about chemo, how I'm going to be sick, how I'm going to be crapping in my pants, puking all the time, and I got to wait for you to come and unhook me, okay, and sit in my own shit, because it literally takes them like 45 minutes to come and unhook you when you got to go pee. So imagine, now your shit's uncontrollable, your vomit's uncontrollable, you're going to be able to sit there and hold this stuff. It's going to come out. So God only knows how long. And then they're going to tell you, oh, well, we got nurses to help clean you up and stuff like that. I'm looking at this man like, what the fuck are you talking about? So anyways, oh, it's policy, he tells me. So I said, then go get my clothes, Jack. We ain't going there. You ain't going to chain me to no bed during chemotherapy and call it policy. I'm going to show you something. This paperwork that I sent to that lawyer. Paperwork right here. All right, let me show you something. You see this yellow piece of paper right here? And the white piece of paper? Watch. I'll show you real quick. See that paper? See that paper right there? See those big letters running through it? Running through it? See those big letters? All right. This is the Department of the Connecticut Department of Corrections, UConn Health, Correctional Managed Health Care. This is a refusal sheet. Okay. Since I was refusing to be chained to the bed, I had to sign a paper that is known as the refusal sheet. A refusal to being like admitted, treated, stuff like that. This is what it is. Okay, but what I signed was, I said on the paper, I said, I'm not refusing treatment. Now, mind you, this is admittance date February 21st, 2018. So this stuff was going through my body since 2016. So it's a miracle that I'm alive right now. Okay. February 21st, 2018 is when the first one happened. I put, I'm not refusing treatment. I'm refusing to have my 8th Amendment right violated by the Department of Corrections' biased policy and calling it safety and security. This policy only protects the DOC's abusive practices. I wrote that on one of them. Now, am I refusing treatment? Or am I standing on my 8th Amendment right? Would you agree with me to tell me that chaining me to the bed during chemotherapy is not cruel and unusual punishment? Would you agree? You're going to be shitting on yourself, throwing up on yourself. You're going through chemo. But you're going to be chained to the bed. I already got this cancer in my bones, so the chains themselves was excruciating pain. So I had to endure that pain to go to UConn anyway. Remember? Black box. I told you that before. Black box is, has only one purpose and one purpose only. To violate the 8th Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment. Because it has no different kind of security added to it other than cruel and unusual punishment. I'm going to give you a test. The next time you have an itch, okay, don't scratch it. Let it itch you. Let it bug you. Let it go in your body. Let it be itching your body. Don't scratch it, okay? Don't scratch it. And you see how your anxieties are skyrocket so freaking high. It's going to make your head spin, okay? Try having an itch on your body when you're in a box or you're in one of those shackles and any kind of those chains that you have you, and you cannot itch it. You can't scratch it. It'll drive you crazy in that moment. Desensitization. Remember? Pics. All right. So, wow. She was beautiful. Anyways, God bless her. So anyways, excuse me for that. So anyways, that's one of them. That's one of them. Okay. All right. That's the one that I have. All right. Now, here's the other paper. The UR request response. University of Connecticut Health Center. My name's on it. My number's on it. Initial diagnosis, cancer, lymphoma. Update diagnosis, cancer, lymphoma. Current diagnosis, cancer, lymphoma. Update procedure, therapy, chemotherapy. All right. Request procedure, therapy, chemotherapy. Approval procedure, therapy, chemotherapy. Updated specify hematology, oncology, whatever that is. Approved specialty, hematology, oncology. Hematology, oncology, request on specialty. Okay, on this paper is red. It says summary for consult from Jessica Clements. Okay, this was another time that I was thinking, I said to myself, you know what? I'm getting sick. And Jessica Clements was telling me, Mr. Padilla, please, you need to come to the hospital. So this one right here so happened to be March 16, 2018. Now, these are months passing while this cancer is going through my body. Okay, these are months passing. Cancer can go through your body and kill you within a couple of months. But these people had allowed this cancer to go through my body. It's only through the grace of God and the miracles that God has prepared my body to be as strong to go through this situation that I'm going through right now. These are miracles from God. You ain't looking at miracles in God? Okay, that God ain't performing miracles today? Well, I'm a testimony. God is still doing miracles today. In Jesus' name, because Jesus is my Lord and Savior. So anyways, Jessica Clements writes this thing here. She says, hello all. I'd like for Mr. Padilla to be directly admitted to ONC service on Monday to start treatment for his double-hit lymphoma. Planned for IT, MTX, and R-EPOCH. EPOCH. Treatment delayed due to patient choice, is what is written here. I wrote alongside of it, I did not refuse treatment. I refused to be subject to a biased policy for the DOC of the DOC. This policy has been the policy used to hide all of the department's unconstitutional practices from the general public. Okay, this is what I wrote. It goes on to talk about the, I'll read it. John was the attorney. I sent this paperwork to him. This is clear-cut law stuff here, that all he had to do, I mean, come on. I wouldn't have to work for the rest of my life. He probably wouldn't have to work for the rest of his life. What we can make happen here. But you see, for me, this ain't about money. I want people in prison, but I want them under the jail. I want them to be subject to the same kind of medical stuff that we was getting, that I've been getting for all those years in the prison system. I want them to freaking really feel the magnitude of the stuff they cause. So anyways, John, you think that kid, oh, this is a good one. Remember that kid that escaped from Carl Robinson? And then that DOC representative who said, well, we're half staffed now, they're cutting the budget, so on the weekends there's not many people working, and da-da-da-da. Remember he said all that stuff? Okay. That kid escaped on a Sunday. All right. This is football season, guys. You go to any facility during any sports event. These guys have got TVs under the desks where they're not supposed to have these TVs. Phones ramping all over the place. And they're all sitting down watching football, basketball, baseball, whatever, hockey, anything. You can count, I've counted on numerous occasions, 22 COs, 20 COs, all sitting around a desk doing nothing. These are millions and millions of dollars that the budget is for, and these men are sitting around doing nothing. How's this possible? For you to be sitting there cutting school funding, but you're hiring COs who are ripping off the federal government. They're not doing nothing. That job is basic. That job is purely minimum wage at best with good benefits in case something pop off. But the only time stuff pop off is when it's initiated by the department itself, by the officers in there. I'll give you an example. You got a guy that you go into his cell, and you're in his cell now. You're a newbie in his cell. And this guy's a straight freaking idiot. And there's a lot of them in prison. Remember, some of these guys have been in and out of the prison system, so they've adopted the prison ways. The prison system, remember when I told you they're creating the monsters. Okay, so now you're in this guy's cell, and he's an asshole. And you want to light this man up. Okay, you know, I've been there. I done put hands on many men in the prison system. They know me really, really well. I'm that dude. I will hurt you, okay? But I'm real humble. I'm the gentle giant who just sits in the cut. I don't bother nobody. I'm humble. I'm friendly. I get along with everybody. But there's some people you just can't get along with. So mind you, okay, so now you go to an officer, you tell him, listen, I need you to change my cell, man. I can't get along with this dude, man. He's got ways about him that I ain't feeling. Okay, I have to look at it. Now, I have to pay attention to when I do stuff like that because I have to tell myself, is it me or is it him? Okay, so mind you, I'm equipped to evaluate myself and know when it's me or not. Okay, a lot of times it's not me because I get along with everybody. So anyways, you got a knucklehead in there with you. You want to light this man up, so you go to your officer and you tell him, I need to get out of this man's cell. Okay. You know what they tell you in there? No. They don't want to move you. They won't move you. You just told him that you can't get along with the guy, but they don't want to move you. Okay, so you're in the cell with this man that you're not getting along with. You ask the officer to do something to make the move for you, but under safety and security, they tell you no, they can't move you. They can't do that. Okay, so now shit pop off. You either hurt him or he hurt you. One or the other. That could have been avoided under safety and security. I'm telling you, my safety, his safety is in jeopardy, but they're not doing nothing about it. They'll leave you in there. That's one example of how the officers initiate situations in there. All right. Okay. Damn, man, I hope I didn't forget that paper. I have a paper that I was hoping that, God, I really, I didn't bring it. I didn't bring it. That paper that I didn't bring was that article that Governor Malloy wants to, give us more, well, give us more food in the prison system. It makes them less pissed off, he says. Okay, you're on the right track. You're moving in the right direction, but that's not even scratching the surface of what's really going on in there, Governor. Okay? Your main problem is the unions of the Department of Corrections. Your main problem, your main obstacle, the brick wall standing in front of you from actually giving you an insight of what is really happening in the prison system is the department itself. They hide under that union. That's a powerful union. It's got to be, holy shit, because they're killing people in there and they're getting away with it. They're killing people. So anyways, here's the paperwork about the refusal and stuff like that. And what I didn't read was, John, you think that kid that escaped was a coincidence that it was on a Sunday afternoon during football finals? The COs stay watching TV on security monitors and phones, and even TVs they bring in during football, basketball, and other sports. That's why they want to chain me to the bed in Yukon. March Madness is on. See, chaining me to the bed. Mind you, remember when I told you all those security doors? I'm already in a locked room. But being chained to the bed gives that officer all the time he needs to go do whatever he feels like doing. Go eat Chinese food, go eat pizza, go dilly-dally, play on his phone, and think he's some big hot shot with the nurses and stuff like that. Most of them nurses come to the inmates anyway. So, anyway. Haters. So anyways, that's why they wanted to chain me to the bed. So that the man doesn't have to do nothing. I'm chained to a bed. That man disappears all the time. So imagine if I'm chained to the bed during chemotherapy and I crap in my pants and puke all over my bed. By the time he come back and I tell him, it'd be an hour or so. See that? See that? They can't watch TV if I'm not chained. Mind you, I'm already in a locked room. Why do I have to be chained to the bed? Safety and security? Bullshit. You're killing people in here. Wake up. This is what I wrote to the attorney. All right. This letter is a written copy of an officer that retired by the name of Robert DeNino, who had exposed Osborne Correctional Facility for the PCBs, the bacteria in the water, the asbestos that's all over the place in there. He brought it. He's the one that exposed it. The Osborne Correctional closed the section of the jail that's called the Qs, like quit, Qs, okay, and that's the only part of that jail that was tested. Mind you, the rest of the jail is still very active. This jail was built in 1963. There were a lot of people in there getting sick. Right here in this jail, in this place that I'm at, in Yukon facility, there are many men in there with cancer. Where's that coming from? Cancer doesn't run in my family. Nobody in my family has cancer. There is no history of my family having cancer. But I got cancer. Where'd that come from? So anyways, I couldn't start treatment. My release date was in May. This was in March. 2 months later, you know what cancer could do to the body in 2 months? Like I said, walking testimony, man. It's only by the grace of God that I'm still moving around. Normal. Not normal, because I'm in a shitload of pain all the time. Just don't see it. You don't see it. I got a high tolerance for pain. So anyways, I never started treatment because these people wanted to chain me to a bed during chemotherapy and call it policy. So now I'm here. I'm here now. Getting ready to walk into what just might be a place that I may not walk back out of. Okay. The doctor today texted me on the phone because I had asked her, am I dying? I told you that text. So anyways, she texted me yesterday that, but today's text was, she doesn't know what the regimen is going to be like before, because before it was a week, and then I come home for 2 weeks. Then I go back for a week, and then I come home for 2 weeks. That was the regimen. That was they were going to do. So she doesn't know if that's going to be changed now because I haven't had the treatment since then, months ago. This has been months now. Okay. Remember, in February is when Dr. Clements at UConn was like, you're going to die. We need to do this now. February. I had to wait all the way till May to get out because the Department of Corrections just doesn't understand law. They are above the Constitution. They are above the law. They are above civil rights. They are above organized crime. They are above all of that. So what needs to start taking effect is people need to start paying attention to this stuff, okay? Men are coming out of the system sick. Men are coming out of the system incapacitated. They're no longer able to work. They're no longer able to function along normal lines. These things are happening to them. We brought it up. I talked about it. It's happening all the time. I'm giving you this part here about the medical situation. I'm sure you've heard medical situations here, but no, you've never heard of it, but maybe people talking, men that you hear coming out of the prison system will tell you, damn, you don't get sick in jail. You know what I'm saying? Probably heard it there. But what needs to happen is that now it has to be brought out. Christian Cordero, you listening to me? News Channel 8, you people listening to me? Okay? You need to start putting this on the TV set about where the crime is really going on. Because these people are breaking more laws than any inmate that has ever gone through that freaking facility. Federal laws, state laws, civil laws, they're breaking them all every single day. More laws in one day than me personally, than I have ever broken in my life. They break those laws every single day. Put that in the news. I'm going to read you a letter that I wrote to, remember I mentioned her name, Keisha Johnson. I wrote this to her because Keisha Johnson is very responsible for the situation because she was my nurse. She was supposed to have been on this stuff. She is supposed to be equipped to know that, yo, you're sick, and I'm going to check it. But she didn't. She kept pushing me off. Utilize sick call. I did. He didn't do nothing. But robbed me for $3. What's that, like 85% of my pay rate? This is a letter that I wrote to her, and I'm going to read it to you people. This is a letter that I wrote to her. All right? I wrote this letter to her. Okay? Oh, before I get to that letter, see this letter right here? See what it says? State of Connecticut, Department of Public Health. Remember I mentioned that name, Doreen Harper. This was a letter that I received. Okay? It says, Dear Mr. Padilla, 2-11157. Remember that number? Remember, they used to call you a number. All right, it says, Your petition concerning care and services provided by Yukon Correctional Management Managed Healthcare has been received by the Practitioner Licensing and Investigation Section and has been reviewed. Mind you, before I go any further, I wrote this letter to these people before the cancer diagnosis. Remember, I was going through the process. I was having all these symptoms and stuff like that, and nobody was doing nothing. And this was before the cancer diagnosis. Remember, months and months and months and months had passed before the diagnosis. So, the Practitioner License Investigation Section of the Department of Public Health is responsible for investigating complaints regarding care and services provided by the healthcare providers, which we regulate pursuant to the Connecticut General Statutes, the Public Health Code of the State of Connecticut, and or the Code of the Federal Regulations. This is some heavy stuff. Federal regulations, public general statutes, heavy stuff. That means that if you don't comply with this kind of stuff and you waver from stuff like this, you're breaking laws, federal and state. All right. So, I read the first one. This is the wrong one. I'll get back to that one. This is the first one that I sent to them. Your letter concerning healthcare to service providers by the Yukon Correctional Managed Healthcare has been received by the Department of Public Health and will be reviewed. The Department of Public Health is responsible for investigating complaints regarding care and services provided by healthcare providers, which we regulate pursuant to the Connecticut General Statutes and Public Health Codes of the State of Connecticut and or the federal regulations. If the department pursues an investigation, you will be contacted by the investigator assigned to your petition. To review additional information regarding the investigation process, you may wish to visit the consumer guide located at, here's all that website stuff. How you gonna visit these people? You're in jail, they ain't got no internet in there. They put that stuff in there. Why they do that? You can't invest, you can't do nothing. That's how the grievance process works. That's another thing. I was thinking about this in the shower, okay, to bring it to your attention. You write a grievance in there, okay? And then they send it back to you with their little scribble response that you can't even read. They do that on purpose, all right? And then you got to send another one, level 2 thing. And then it comes back. Now, mind you, in the process of all this, months are passing, okay? And then you got to go to level 3. You got to do all that. This is a complaint against the Department of Corrections and the medical care, stuff like that. Why you got to go through all this stuff? Remember, they don't teach you nothing in this. So a lot of men don't really even know how to do much of this kind of stuff, okay? But they do this on purpose, okay? So that you wouldn't continue. You wouldn't follow through with everything that's going on. You wouldn't follow through, okay? And they use that safety and security policy again so that you can't sue them. Okay, so they have all this process that you got to go through in there. They make it real difficult so that you don't follow through. Okay, how's that possible? Why are they doing that? If I got a doctor out here in the world who's in malpractice, I go to an attorney or I lodge a complaint against whatever it is, and boom, there's no grievance process. I got to go through all this stuff. No, the Lord takes care of all that shit. In there, you got to do it yourself, and they do this so that you don't follow through. Remember, they're not teaching nothing in there. So vocational, educational, some men in there just don't have that capacity to do so. I have. So I went the distance, bro. I stand on my purpose. If you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. So anyways, here I am, still not getting treated because I refuse to let them violate me, treat me undignified. Okay? Call it policy. So anyway, this was the first letter that I sent them, and it says, if the department pursues an investigation, you will be contacted by the investigator assigned to your petition. To review additional information regarding the investigation, all right, now we passed all that, and you got the website. Thank you for bringing these issues to the attention of the department. Respectfully yours, Kathleen W. Bauer, RN. Public Health Services Manager, Practitioner, Licensing and Investigation Section. This is the lady that sent me the letter. That was in July 11th, 2017. The letter that came after that came to me on July 19th, 2017. That happened fast because whoever looked at it Said, holy shoot, we need to check this. So they sent me this letter saying, okay, the Practitioner Licensing Investigation Section of the Department of Public Health is responsible for investigating complaints regarding care and services provided by the healthcare providers, which we regulate pursuant to the Connecticut General Statutes, the Public Health Code of the State of Connecticut, and or Code of Federal Regulations. Doreen Harper, HPA, has been assigned to investigate your concerns. Please feel free to contact him or her at the number listed below for additional information regarding the investigation process. You may wish to review the consumer guide located. There's the website again. How am I supposed to look at that? I got a $300 TV that's worth about $5 in the world. Ain't got no internet on that. You can't go to the library and get on the internet. Can't do none of that in there. So why are you going to send it to me? I guess it's policy. I don't know. So anyways, once again, the signature on this paper here is Kathleen W. Bauer, RN, Public Health Service Manager, Practitioner, Licensing and Investigation Section. That letter was the Connecticut Public Health. Did they do anything about it? Did they investigate it? No, they didn't. I called the lady. She told me that I was supposed to send paperwork. I'm supposed to send you stuff? You the one investigating. You the one that got to look into that. Only thing I'm supposed to do is sign release of information forms so that you can get in there. So that letter I was telling you about that I want to read. All right. All right. These are the letters that I sent to the Public Health Department. I sent these letters to them. This is what made them write me letters, only write me letters to tell me they were going to investigate. That's all they did was write the letters, but they never investigated them. Okay. This is one of the grievances that I sent right there. It's one of them. There are many. I sent many of them. Nobody did nothing. Okay. So, that letter. Man, I hope that letter's in here, man. I really do. I'm sure it's in here, man. I'm sure it's in here. I'm sure it's in here. It's gotta be in here, man. Here it is. Here it is. I wrote this letter to the lady that really should have been on this. And she wasn't. She wasn't. And I'm going to tell you what she tried to do after I write this, after I read you this. She straight tried to kill me. With her attempts to what she was trying to do was to kill me, for me to die in the system. Keisha is what I'm writing. My letter to you is one that is long overdue. I've been in this facility since January of 2016. When I came here, I was already approved, all right, for doctors for a condition that I had, which I never mentioned that either. I was diagnosed, remember, I was an alcoholic for years, and I was diagnosed with hepatitis C. Okay? Now, before I went to that jail, the doctors in Whaley Avenue and Walker facility already had approved. They already knew that there was sufficient liver damage for them to start the Havoni treatment. All right. Now, I got to that jail and nobody was checking into it. Nobody was looking into anything. This virus was allowed to start really going berserk inside my body. Okay, so I was already approved by two doctors. One doctor from Whaley Avenue County Jail, the other doctor from Walker CI to start the hepatitis C treatment. When I came here, nothing was being done. For months and months, I wrote and nothing was done. During this time, my immune system was being exhausted and my white blood cell count was allowed to reach extreme lows, leaving my body accessible to other diseases, cancer being one of them. And mind you, I'm around a lot of cancer-causing agents, so that made it even worse. Between you and Dr. Pillai, I have written to and told I was already approved for the Hep C treatment. Why haven't I started it yet? Nothing was done. Months and months, I have written request after request about experiencing different ailments to you, and you would say, sick call. And only on request that you would answer. Many requests you didn't even respond to. I voiced to you in person, you and Pillai, I don't feel well. I'm getting lumps on my body. You being the ID nurse, infectious disease nurse. As you reminded me so many times, should have recognized that my condition leaves me open for other diseases. And the symptoms I continuously was describing to you and Dr. Pillai should have been a concern. However, you did nothing. During this time, I kept writing about why I haven't started the Hep C treatment. On one occasion, you called me down to your office for me to fill out and sign a questionnaire about the treatment and whether or not I received the treatment. I filled out the form. You told me for the question of, am I receiving the Hep C treatment, to put yes. I told you, I'm not getting the treatment, so my answer is no. You told me it's just for paperwork. I told you, I don't care. I'm not getting the Hep C treatment here. I wrote no. You changed my answer to refuse to answer. This is what you wrote. Refuse to answer. I have a record of this. That's what I wrote. Now, nearly 2.5 years later, I have cancer. If all my requests over the period of 2 years were checked instead of pushed to sick call, don't worry, sick call also will be held accountable. This may not be where we are now. If I would have started the Hep C treatment when I got here, none of this would be happening. However, you did not attempt to have me checked, even when you and Pillai saw my immune system down to 21. This is unacceptable and inexcusable. On Wednesday, January 17th, you called me into your office, and neither you nor Pillai had any idea about where we are with the final results of the hepatitis treatment that I just finished, only 1.5 years later. Too late. I had to remind you of the final update in February. Also, nor you or Pillai have noticed that my multivitamin medication has expired months ago. This med is solely your responsibility as ID nurse and ID doctor. But you know what scared me about all of this? You said in your words, when I told you about Mr. Fury looking into the possibilities of a compassionate release, your condition is not life-threatening. So many times you said, I'm only the ID nurse, to pass the buck, and you have the nerve to say something so uneducated. Cancer can never be called not life-threatening, especially when you let it consume my entire lymphatic system. On January 4th, the consultation I had with the cancer doctor at UConn, Dr. Clements, I was told if I did not get treatment now, I would be dead in 2 months. Between you and Dr. Pillai first, passing the buck to Sigmund, then Dr. Freshton, this cancer was allowed to move inside me to this point. I am dying. However, I will beat this. No help from you. And after, I will pursue the legal action that needs to be taken because future victims need to be aware of the true nature of this Osborne Yukon staff and their adopted abusive practices to the point of committing murder. Now, I wrote this letter to this woman. Let me tell you what this woman tried to do. Mr. Fury, Richard Fury, is the health administrator at the Osborne Correctional Facility. He's an awesome dude. Talked to him many, many times. One day I was called down to his office, and I go down to there. That's in the back of the medical. So you got to go back, in the back. You're not supposed to go back there unless you have a pass. So I'm on my way back there, and Keisha sees me going back there. So I talk to Mr. Fury because they were working on a compassionate release. Compassionate release is when they're releasing the inmate because they're on their deathbed. They're going to die. So they were working on that, the compassionate release, to get me out. Now, when I came back out of Mr. Fury's office, Officer Ayala, she works at the medical in Osborne. Short chick, great chick, talks like a truck driver. It's horrible. Because when I first met her so many years ago, she didn't speak like that. She was a lady. Now she's different. But those are the psychological effects that happens to the officers as well. That kind of power corrupts. That kind of power changes your mind. It turns into things that, are not cool. So now she talks like a truck driver. So anyway, she comes up to me. She says, Mr. Padilla, if you only knew what Keisha just tried to do. I'm like, whoa, what? She says she tried to get me to write you a ticket of out of place. Now, a ticket of out of place, I'm not sure if it's a Class A or a Class B, but a ticket of out of place will take away good time. Not only would it take away good time, but it would definitely have rendered me incapacitated to get the compassionate release. So not only would it have taken away the possibilities of the compassionate release, but it would have also had taken away good time from me, rendering me in the prison system longer without treatment. So 2 and 2 equals 4, 4 and 4 equals 8, figure it out. Her trying to give me that ticket only equaled down to one thing. She wanted me to die in the prison system. That's what it equals to. 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 4 is 8. 8 and 8 is 16. Same simple math. Getting me the ticket would have taken away good time. Would have rendered me completely incapacitated. I would not have been able to get the compassionate release. I would have died in there. This is what she tried to do. Was she so desperate to cover her own acts in this negligence to a point of murder that she would try to kill me? Let's see what happens after chemo today.